They were here thousands of years before Columbus. While Paris was still a village, they were carving cities out of the jungle. They played a ball game for life or death. They planned their lives according to the heavens. Their writing is a puzzle we're still learning to decipher.
Wow, that's really something.
Now the pace of discovery is quickening. We're finally finding out who they were.
Bone? There's a lot of bone.
Look at this. Oh, man. Look, it's a black kind of...
Oh, man. This is really a powerful work of art.
They are the people who say that the gods made them from corn. They are the Maya. The year is 1839. The place, Western Honduras. An American explorer named John Lloyd Stephens is leading an expedition in search of an abandoned Maya city called Copán. Almost nothing is known about the Maya. Stephens is about to learn more. Draped with 1,000 years of tropical growth, the brooding temples and tumbled stones sprawl for miles. Stephens is overwhelmed by a sense of mystery. Who built this place? What happened here? In the following days, Stephens and English artist Frederick Catherwood record their impressions of the ruined city. It lay before us like a shattered bark in the midst of the ocean, her masts gone, her crew perished, and none to tell whence she came or what caused her destruction. All was mystery, dark, impenetrable mystery. During the next 3 years, Stephens and Catherwood visit the better-known Maya sites to the north. In Yucatan, they explore Uxmal and Chichen Itza. In Chiapas, they visit Palenque. And still questions plague them. Who built these cities? Why had they been abandoned? The land of the Maya spread from parts of Honduras, El Salvador and Guatemala in the south to Belize and Mexico in the north. It was dotted with hundreds of small kingdoms, each with its own unique history. The heartland of what scholars call the classic Maya civilization lay in the southern lowlands. It is there that our story takes place, starting at the site where scientific excavations first began, Copán. Today, this partially restored site still retains its air of mystery. Bill Fash is the director of the Copán Acropolis project.
Copán was one of the premier Maya cities. Now, we can't say that in terms of its size. Certainly there were other cities that were larger. But while it was booming for about 400 years there, it was quite a place. It had incredible artists, sculptors, architects, engineers, astronomers, scribes, and so forth. So I suppose if you had to put it in our cultural terms, if Tikal were like, say, New York, Copán was like Paris.
Every year for the past few decades, a handful of Maya specialists and hundreds of workers have been trying to piece Copán's history back together. The story of what happened here is still unfolding, stone by stone.
There are over 30,000 fragments of stone sculpture that once adorned these buildings. The problem is, for this particular puzzle, there's no box top. There's no picture that enables us to know how they went back together. We have to try and figure that out. And the problem's made worse by things like this. This is what we call a gok pile, G-O-K, for God only knows, because God only knows where any of these rocks came from. The earlier archaeologists just piled them up here. So our job is to figure out which designs adorn the different structures, come back to the gok piles and pull out the examples that are just like those we have dug up and try and put the whole thing back together.
But in spite of the difficulties, Fash's team of experts has reassembled thousands of sculptures and conserved dozens of buildings. Every year, the picture of what Copán was like more than 1,000 years ago becomes clearer. Many clues still lie hidden in the temples where the Maya elite buried their dead. The classic Maya had virtually no interest in metal, so there's no gold buried here. But sometimes something even more valuable is unearthed.
Take it easy. That's it. Watch the wire.
There you
Can I see this space? All right. Yeah, it's repainted. It's a stucco coating.
In 1992, Robert Scherer discovered the tomb of a royal family member. Buried with him were some pots.
Well, one glyph is there.
What makes these vessels especially significant are the painted designs and the hieroglyphic writing.
Well, they're fantastic vessels, although I don't know if I can say much about the glyphs on them.
40 years ago, we could read only a few Maya hieroglyphs.
Well, yeah, the colors.
Today, we can read about half, but it takes an expert.
There's another pot just like the
Just like
one
this
with
one,
the feet in the tomb.
Wow. But that, again, that's just a big
David
stretch.
Stewart is the son of Maya scholars and one of the world's foremost epigraphers.
By being able to read the glyphs now, it makes the Maya a little bit more normal. It makes them more human, because we see that they did have history, that they were people that had real concerns about themselves and the events in their lives.